Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. So this is reason number 587 why I want to leave the United States. We don't even know what we live for these days here in the United States. So I had an unusual situation at a meetup group a couple of weeks ago. So I got to be careful around people who are eating, right? I've already talked about this multiple times. And sometimes I run into drama. That particular night, I probably wouldn't ran into drama. This guy was clearly full beyond his what he wanted to eat. He wanted to play this board game with me, so he was already eating really slowly because he didn't want it anymore, and he shoved the rest of his pizza or whatever it was into his mouth, and he made quite a scene. And then he started clutching himself, and then he went to wash his hands. To his credit, he went to wash his hands. Why? If your body is rejecting food so badly, it's time to put it down. It really is that simple, right? Think outside the box. Or would you do that with anything else, right? So I cannot understand. I cannot understand it. And it was disgusting, and it sets a bad example. And unfortunately, here in the United States, it's not really popular to tell somebody that, hey, look at what you're doing, right? But I tried to motion it to him as much as I could, right? I knew I couldn't speak up because States, right? If this were in Taiwan, you'd probably speak up, right? There's more of a collectivist mentality over there. But why? Why? Now, where it gets really disheartening is that not only do people do this to themselves, but they try to do it to other people as well. We're just trying, even without considering dietary restrictions, go to a party and tell people you're already full, right? They'll still want you to try their food, right? I was tutoring a sixth grader. He was learning about, they had just a quick lecture about etiquette. And he learned that, this was just, I think, when he had the lesson. He learned that at a Thanksgiving gathering, if there are people who are refusing alcohol, he shouldn't ask people why they're refusing the alcohol, right? I think the same principle ought to apply for food and even for things that aren't necessarily things we put in our body, right? If somebody refuses to try skydiving, right, do you ask them why or do you push them to do it, right? If somebody refuses to any number of things, right? If somebody takes a profession that goes against your moral compass or views on it, right? Any number of could fall into that category, right? I don't know why they singled out alcohol for that discussion. It really boggles the mind how we overthink all of this, right? But so it's really that simple. Don't eat in a way that makes yourself uncomfortable, right? Especially in a public setting where you're setting an example of that stuff. Right? It really is that simple. I wish I could have pointed that out, right? But why, right? I sometimes love to watch various life hacks and uh, see the worst way. I talk about this on my channel. I love to watch financial gurus, and the worst way you could waste your money is to waste it in a way that harms yourself, right? At least if you waste money on, a good movie or something like that, you're not really going to harm yourself very much from that, right? If you waste it on a vacation, generally speaking, you're probably not going to harm yourself, right? The worst way is to harm yourself, right? To use something, to overeat, overindulge, right? That's the worst way to waste money, right? Conversely, the best way to make money is to make it doing something you love to do anyway, right? Usually we don't get to live in those extremes, or usually most things fall in between those two extremes, right? All right, thought I would point that out. Anyways, I'm just about to barf thinking about that pizza. I tried to make myself do that at the meetup. I didn't want to make it obvious that I was faking it, but I tried to make myself go just so you could see it. This is the Peter Dislike Show. Bum bum bum, 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum, 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 bum.